Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is part 4 of my rock over tree pinging, call it. So the rock is all painted up now. I've also done a couple of small rocks, same thing, just a piece of polystyrene stuff, melted down. I just gave them a quick blast of paint, nothing major. They're just to maybe add either down here, maybe up here, we don't know yet. Might not use them at all, but I said I may as well make a couple anyway, just for spares. Okay, so it's time to find out if we can actually do this or not. So before we start, I'll move that out the way a minute. I brought in a few of my junipers. I brought them in yesterday because they were soaking wet, just dry out. See, this one needs a bit of weeding. These are all either cuttings or air layers that I took. I got a mother tree before and I took loads of air layers off it. So that's another one. I have this one here, there's a lot of kind of branching on that. And then this one, these are just a bunch that haven't been styled. This one has kind of got a bit of a bend in it and there's just 2 basic branches on it. So I'm not sure if any of these will work or which one might be the best. But what I'm thinking, let's put them, after looking at them for a while, move this one over here. Just down here a minute. I'm thinking this one might be the better of them. It's got a few branches, and I don't know. I'm thinking this one might work best, but we'll try it. We'll have a look at it. If not, maybe we'll take one of the others out and try one of them. Like that. These were all just grown from air layers. So if they don't succeed, we can always try again. We might find that working on it and repotting it at the same time isn't great. I know you shouldn't really work on the roots and the top of the tree at the same time, but I'm going to try and see how it goes. If it survives, then good. If it doesn't, we'll switch it out and try another one next time. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of this part. I've already pulled it out just to see, make sure there wasn't a ton of roots on it. As you see, there's not a lot, so we might be able to get that through the hole. So we'll get it all cleaned off and then we'll have a look at what we're working with. Let's get my chopstick here. Just move that out of the way. It's the one time you kind of don't want a ton of roots. I know I need a lot of roots for it to survive, but at the same time we want to be able to get it through that hole in the rock. So hopefully this one will work. And because it's an air layer, it's all the for some reason all the roots have come out one side, and there's a bit of there's the piece of wood left from where I peeled off the bark. We have few growing tips on this, so it's probably could have been done a bit sooner, but like I said, these are not big expensive trees, they're just basically cuttings that we're going to work and try and see if we can get it to work. Okay, and I wouldn't normally wash the roots, but again, because we want to get this through that hole, I'm going to wash out the roots, get as much of this old soil as I can out to get the roots as small as I can. So I'll give them a wash and then we'll come back and have a look. Okay, so we've cleaned off the roots. As you can see, we have got growing tips on them, but we'll just have to take a chance that it'll be okay. I'm just seeing if there's any weed roots tangled up in it. Now the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to thread this through the hole. So I'm going to first of all take off this stub here. So we'll take that off. And now I suppose the best thing to do is to put some wire on this now before I put it in there. So what I'll do is I'll wrap all the roots up in some cling film just to make them, one, stay moist, and two, protect them. So look, I think I have some cling film here. Yeah, I do. This will also help us to thread the roots through the hole. Okay, so we'll wrap them on now. Get it as tight as I can get it without damaging the roots. And then kind of work it around like that. Okay, so that should protect the roots. I'll just trim out that excess on the bottom. Okay, so we have it ready now to thread up through here. I have two holes in this. I wasn't sure how big I was going to be making it, so I'm going to snip between them two. And I'll get some old scissors. I'll just cut them bits a bit out, so it's created one bigger hole. So that should easily, hopefully, thread up through there now. I won't bother threading it all the way because we'll wait until we're ready to do it. I might just wrap a bit of tape on that to hold it from opening. So we're ready. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically it's going to be like this in that. So I've got to decide where I want the front, and I'm going to have to wire these so that we can turn them and face them the right way up and do a bit of styling on them. So I'm going to throw a bit of wire on these. No point videoing it, I'll leave, because otherwise it's going to take make a long video. So I'll wire it up and then we'll come back and have a look. Let's see how we can get it in. Okay, so I've got all the wire on it. I've kind of, there's still one or two, there's two little branches here. We could maybe wire the two of them up. Last two, I'd say. Just take out that little bit there. Just throw a tiny bit of it on these. Just really thin stuff. And then I think we're ready to go. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to picture in my head what way I'm going to do it, what way I'm going to style it. And you're trying to do it upside down, picturing it upside down. Again, it's a little bit of a trick shot, but we're getting there. I think I have a plan, so hopefully it works. Okay, so just trim that off. Okay, so I've kind of roughly just bent them out into roughly the positions I'm going to be wanting them, just so I can kind of pick a front and I'm thinking somewhere like there. So let's see if we can get this in. Now I'm going to need to tie it to this wire here. So I'm going to get a bit of wire ready. And I was thinking if I put it through this here and up, then I'll be able to, yeah, maybe that would be the right way to go. Let's put it like that for now. Let's see how that goes. Alright, let's see if we can thread it through. Grabbing all the sharp edges, I should have maybe got rid of some of them sharp edges on the in the hole before I did it. Okay, we're in. I think we're good. So you kind of get the idea of what it's going to be like. Now I need to take off this plastic now. Not entirely sure how good this is going to work with the roots kind of upside down, but presumably they will just turn around and start heading back the other way. I need to kind of get the roots now to be kind of bending downwards, which we should be able to do, I think. Okay, so let's first of all, while we do open up the roots, let's tie the tree to this wire that I put here. We want it to come up this side of it. Probably can't see what I'm doing now, so I'll just bring the camera over a bit and see if I can get it a bit closer. Okay, so hopefully you can see there what I'm doing. Now we need to tie this to this piece of wire without catching any roots, so we can. Very fiddly job. Okay, let's just tighten there a second so we have a look at the right position. Yeah, I don't think we can go and trade in that anyway. The only thing we could do is turn it slightly, I think. Yeah, so about there, that's where we want it. So yeah, but we need to, next job would be to tighten that up. Oh, you knock the camera over. Managed to put the camera on the table on top of my tools. If we got the pliers out. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now what I need to do, so the tree can still wobble a bit, is I want to try and use this wire now to wrap around this trunk here, like that. We'll go around the wire again like that. Now it's solid. Okay, so we can prune this off. These roots, we're going to have to try and bend down. These ones should be okay. Okay, so our next task is to try and get some mesh in here, just to block up them holes. Undo that side. Not sure how much of this you're really able to see, but just blocking up them holes. Okay, so now we're ready to put in some soil. So let's get some soil in. Work that in a bit. We do have this root sticking out. It's a bit high, but we'll see. Maybe when we put moss on, we can put it into the moss. I think I'll just give that a watering. Put it down a bit first, then we'll water that. It should just run into the tray, so it'll be alright. Okay, now just to keep that done now, we will put a bit of sand on, or some fine stuff, and then put some moss on the top just to seal it in. I think maybe we'll use some sand, so we definitely don't want this drying out. So I'll just put a bit of layer of sand on, just to help the moss stick to it. Check the tree's in the right place. It is. Okay, now get some moss. Now there's a bit of soil on the bottom of this, so I'm just going to take that off. Now I need to decide, do I want to move the camera back now. Okay, so I was playing with the idea of putting another tree up here, but I think another tree will take from this tree. But if I put something like this little honeysuckle, I can keep this trimmed to quite a small bush, so it's just like a little bush growing on the top of the rock or mountain or something. Now I'm thinking if I put a little rock up there with it, if I put the second rock up there, sure. Don't know if I like the rocks up there or not. We'll go with this one, and we can make a decision after I've looked at it for a little while, decide do I like it, the rocks up there or not. But we'll put them up there and see how it goes. We can always take them off if we decide we don't like it. Okay, so let's fill in around them with some moss. Because these are quite light, I think we'll kind of dig them in a bit. Once this moss fills in and kind of fills the gaps, it'll start looking a little bit more natural. And then if anybody says, well, that's not really a tree under a rock, it's just a tree under a rock, under a cliff. Now there's a rock above it, so you can actually say it is under a tree under a rock. Some more moss. There. Okay, so I'll do for the top. Like I said, we may decide to change it. We may get rid of the rocks and the bush off the top, or we'll see. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is work on the tree. So I'll see if I can drop this a little bit more, so it's a bit more eye level. So kind of want this guy here to be our lowest branch coming down. These two we'll put over here a bit. What we'll do is we'll put them all in place first, and then we'll prune them back. This can be our top branch coming out there. maybe more branches on this than we need, but we'll see, because we may end up losing one or two of them. So we'll keep everything we can, and then we can always now I need to kind of decide what I'm going to do with this branch. Okay, so now I'll just go in, we'll get rid of some of the stuff growing downwards now, and we'll take out the tips. These, this guy is a bit long. Start by taking it up there and see what that is, and it'll do for now. Clean out underneath. Probably take a little while now for this to settle in, because the branches are obviously upside down now. So some of the foliage that was on the top is underneath, and vice versa. I've tried to turn them as best I can. So it could be reduced back a little bit there. Topple it all over. Okay, I think That's pretty good. That can all grow out now. Now all that's left is to put in a bit of a base. So I'll just put a bit of gravel in the bottom. Okay, so I just put some defined stuff and just sieved stuff on the bottom. So now we'll just put in some moss. I do have some ferns actually. You know, I like to make little ferns, so just pick again, maybe we can put him in here like that. Put down there. This little guy too. Maybe I'll put him in this little crevice here. Just push a bit of moss in there just to help hold him in. You can just super glue him in. We'll just use the moss. Oh, would he be better at that side? Up to here. That might take from the tree. We'll leave him back here. Again, we can always move it. If we decide we didn't like it there, we prefer it somewhere else. Okay, now again we could stick some of this moss into some of these crevices just to get them started. So do that again, just a little bit of super glue, just holds it in place until it starts growing and kind of attaches itself. Okay, my super glue is blocked up a bit. Okay, I'm working. Trying to get on your fingers, Chris. Okay, so we'll just stick that little bit in there. That'll fill out. And put a little bit here. Just put a tiny drop on. I'll just stick this maybe in this ledge up here. I can fill out in there. And this ledge under here. If I want some all the way up there. Just stick a piece in there for the sake of it, because we have it. It can just grow in amongst the cracks and stuff. Okay, so I think we are done. I won't prune in this tree at all yet. We'll let it grow a little bit and fill out. So let me just straighten up the camera a bit without seeing the full picture of it. So yeah, we can work on the tree obviously as it's growing and filling out. We can create the pads better. But I think we could call that a success. There's definitely a tree growing out from underneath a rock. So yeah, so we'll call it done. So that's another project done. Quite enjoyed it. It was kind of one of the ones that I wasn't 100% sure when I was making it how it was going to turn out. I was kind of winging it when I was doing it. I had no plans, so it was just from the carving right down to putting the tree in. I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to get the tree in, how it would look, but yeah, I think that looks okay. Front and back wise, maybe one day this will become the front, I don't know, but maybe even they'll be the front. But either way, it kind of looks good from all angles, I think anyway. So we'll call it done. So I'll put it out, give it a good watering, and hopefully next time you see it, the tree's still alive and survived this. If not, then we have plenty of spares, we can try a different tree. And maybe we'll think about putting something on top, or maybe not. I don't know, will it take from that tree if we have another tree up there? I was thinking would I put one kind of coming down here, but I think it would take from the main tree. Alright, so we'll leave it there guys. Thanks for staying with me. I know it was a bit of a long-winded affair. Was it 4 videos? But we got there in the end. So as always, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Don't forget to hit the like button, and any comments what you think about it will be appreciated. I know it won't be for everybody. It's a bit kind of out there, but it's just a bit of a challenge and I wanted to have a go at it. So yeah, to me it was a success. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.